Good evening, YouTube. This is Kaylin Stern coming back at you with the resumption of my regular Sunday night dinner stream, and it appears that I will be sticking with Sundays. I thought before I took my Ramadan break that I may be switching up to Saturdays if Smokey was going to take over Sundays, but apparently he is sticking with Saturdays. So for now, I will be sticking with Sundays. So what I have will be a hodgepodge of things, but the main event will be this IMP lamb stew, and I just happened to use a bag that some other items came in, and I went ahead and opened that bag so I could select what items I wanted from that, and then some other items, and then the rest of those things that I didn't want from that I just placed elsewhere. So anyway, I am borrowing this accessory kit bag. I bought 2 of these on eBay. I did not show them in a mail call because I wanted to actually show them as they're being used. So, but I had stripped this one, took out what I wanted, and then left what I didn't want. So anyway, there's a pack of crackers. Now I'm taking one of the 2 bars that came in this accessory pack. This one happens to be the apricot and honey. These are like a salty biscuit type cracker. This is a 3-in-1 tea, instant tea that came in this pack. So this will go into the 4 emery mug. And then this is a cookie from a current production of the most recent production run of the humanitarian daily rations. And then I wanted something to go with the lamb. And because I got a whole box of Minotaur stuff, this is the Minotaur vegetable rice. This only shows lime pepper seasoning, but I have another seasoning that I'm going to be adding to it. And then, of course, this lamb and vegetable stew from an older version of the Canadian IMP. And this happens to be 2018. I believe that this is the date code. Canadians use the 5-digit date code system. And then I do not have my drinking jar out here, but that will make an appearance in a bit. But because the rice will take longer than it would to heat up the lamb, I'm going to go ahead and start it first. You can see some of the bits of veggies in there. Happens to be 3 kernels of corn right at the top. What I have here is some garam masala. I think that should be enough for that. Just snapping a little shaker disc on. And of course, I will also be adding the hot water to the tea mix, so I'm going to go ahead and open this up. It doesn't say specifically what kind of tea, but I'm just going to assume a black tea. It's sugar and like a creamer. I have another one of these accessory packs which will come up in the near future. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to go ahead and get the boiling water for the rice and the tea. I'm going to have to get a longer spoon for this because my spork just will not cut it. So anyway, I will get a long spoon and then bring that back with the kettle. I'm going to go ahead and seal that up. This would be like how the Brits usually drink their teas with a little bit of creamer or milk and sugar if they like sugar in it. So gonna let that rice sit for about 10 minutes. In the meantime, I will go ahead and open up this box with the lamb stew. And as I do that, I'm gonna check through the chat. So we got CT, we got Cliff, LC is here, Mike Crusher is here. Tracy Phillips is here. Thanks all for dropping in. And this is the newer packaging. The retort, it's no longer the silver and red that you used to see from Baxter's. This is the yellowish one with the maple leaf. Of course, IMPs nowadays come in a plastic bag instead of the paper bag. I have not gotten a hold of one of the newer IMPs yet, but they got rid of these boxes. So there are no more of these boxes in the IMPs. So that will cut down on weight and trash. Although those boxes probably did offer a lot of protection to these pouches. Tim is here. Thanks for dropping in. So I'm going to go ahead and put this in my other pot that has boiling water in it, so this can heat up. And I'll be right back. I went ahead and took my garam masala back to the kitchen too, since I've gotten what I want out of it for tonight. Yep, the other Iowan. I'm opening up the cookie. All in one piece. Now these These patterns you see on my hands are produced from what is called henna, and it is a natural dye. It is not only used as a skin decoration, kind of like a temporary tattoo, it has also been used to dye fabrics, and some henna artists will do it on natural skin drum heads. It is a common thing in India and Middle East and Africa, and a lot of Muslims do it. Hindus will do it. I don't know if Sikhs do or not, but I had it done Thursday night at the mosque after we did our gift exchange. And then I just left it as is. I didn't even bother to wash off the actual paste till Friday morning when I took a shower to get ready to go to the place where the Eid prayer was held. This is the apricot and honey. It looks like an oversized fig Newton, but with the apricot inside. I'm opening up these what I'm assuming kind of smell like a salty or savory biscuit. This accessory pack has a best before date of 2020, so these may have been around a little while. They actually don't smell too bad. But I'm surprised at how dark this is, considering it's supposed to be apricot, but then again, it could have some other ingredients in there. There is Sharon in the house. Thanks for dropping in. In the meantime, I'm going to give this. I really can't shake it because the rice has pretty much absorbed a lot of the water, but I'm giving it a bit of a knead. Now I'm going to bring out another item that is eaten not only all year round, but at certain times has some significance. Like every sunset during Ramadan, when Muslims break their fast, it is preferred that you eat an odd number of dates. It could be one or it could be three. So I just got 3 dates and brought them out here. To add to the meal. And at other times, dates are often eaten at certain times before certain other, like for the next Eid, which is called Eid al-Adha, which is the day after, which takes place during the annual Hajj pilgrimage in Mecca. But anyone in the world can celebrate this particular holiday, whether they're in Mecca or Des Moines or London or Anchorage or wherever. But on that day, before you go to the Eid prayer, it is recommended you eat some dates before you go to the Eid prayer. But after you attend the prayer for the Eid al-Fitr, which is the Eid that we just celebrated, it is recommended you eat something sweet after that, and so dates will definitely fit the bill for that. And I ate them when I was eating my pre-first light breakfast here at home. I was actually eating some dates with the rest of the food that I had picked. And then when we had our breakfast as a group in the mosque, because some of us are spending all night, or they would join for a prayer before that. Sometimes there would be dates available to eat with that meal, and then we would pray the regular morning prayer, and then after that we would begin our fasting for the day. So that's during the last 10 days or 10 nights of Ramadan when we did that. But people will eat dates all year round, so I just decided to go ahead and include them. And then I have another thing that I will bring out before I bring back the lamb stew, and that is why you do not see my drinking jar yet, but you are about to, because I have been chilling it. And the drink that I'm going to show you is called mango lassi, and I did a video on it a few years ago. I made it last year during my family's trip, a much smaller batch than I normally make at the mosque. I was making double batches quite a few days during Ramadan, so I was going through 2 5-quart buckets of ice cream, 4 cans of mango pulp, 4 gallons of milk for one double batch of mango lassi, and you're serving that to quite a few people. So plus I would put it out for the breakfast for anyone who wanted to drink it then. So I have my drinking jar in the fridge chilling. I put it in there yesterday so it would have a chance to get pretty cold. So anyway, I'm going to go get that, and I'll bring that out, and then I will get the main, and by then everything else should be ready. I brought it home in an apple juice bottle. Sorry about the shaking. I am back. Spicy tuna rolls is here. So I'm going to put the mango lassi there. I'm going to open up the rice first. The reason I chose the garam masala is it's very popular. There's a there's not just one garam masala. There's so many different versions, so many different blends that make up garam masala. It just gives an extra bold flavor. A curry would have done as well, and there are so many different types of curries out there. And for those that are not familiar with the Canadian retort pouch, the tear notch always goes across the top like this. And they put two here, one there and one there, but I'm going for the top one. There we go. It didn't quite tear open all the way across, but some of it spilled over, but that's okay. I'm not worried about it. Maybe I should use my Tupperware tray for this. But there is the lamb stew on top of the rice. The rice will absorb some of the sauce. Let's get the focus back on here. There we go. There is CR in the house. Thanks for dropping in. Who are you saying shalom to? Do we have any Jews in the house? Is Yossi here? Well, Nation MRE Finds is here. Thanks for dropping in. Yeah, shalom is what you would say to a Jew, whereas salam is the Arabic, what you would say to a Muslim, or what a Muslim may say to you. Huh. You can't do super chats? I wonder if you need to update the YouTube app. I know these apps have been insisting on more frequent updates. A big old chunk of lamb right there. I hope that's not because my channel may have slipped too far down and lost monetization from me not putting out anything for pretty much a month. And I did make a post encouraging people to just watch my old content, just to help me keep my watch time up. But now that I'm back to my regular, not quite schedule, so to speak, I'll be putting out more stuff. I'll be doing my deck garden stuff pretty soon. We have to get a few more chilly nights past us, but I can still do some things. I can show the pots that I got. I can show the seeds that I plan on planting. Well, then it could be a system burp if no one... I mean, Joe got a super chat during his stream before I dropped out of it. Garden State Gardener. So someone was able to drop him a super chat. I think this lamb was definitely calling for some rice and veggies. So I think this worked out good that I got this pouch of instant rice. That's okay. Just don't get distracted. Down here in Iowa, they're going to really start cracking down on distracted driving and trying to get people to do less with their phones while driving. It has to be in complete hands-free mode, whether you connect it to the vehicle through Bluetooth or you just use speakerphone and use voice commands. Or just don't use it at all. Because there have been still too many distracted drivers causing accidents and even killing people. This is the lamb and vegetable stew from a Canadian IMP from 2018. On top of some vegetable rice from Minotaur Trading Company, which I added some garam masala to before I put the hot water in. This is the cinnamon oatmeal cookie from a 21-pack humanitarian daily ration. This is mango lassi from the last batch that I made at the mosque. I brought some home. It's a mix of melted vanilla ice cream, mango pulp, and milk. And then this is an apricot honey bar that looks like an oversized fig Newton from the accessory pack that goes with the ration mains and dessert pack that LC had sent to me. And these are some savory biscuits that came out of that same accessory pack. And this is a 3-in-1 hot tea mix that came out of that same accessory pack. When I open up that pack that she had sent, I will use the other accessory pack because the seller had 2 of them available and I bought both. Because I thought that one might have some goodies that might work with tonight's meal. The only thing that even that lacked is an instant noodle, and I will be picking that up sometime this week when I do some grocery shopping, because I have not yet done any real grocery shopping for the month of April, because I really haven't had the need to. I had my breakfast stuff at home for the first 20 days of Ramadan. And in the last 10, I ate there at the mosque when we were doing it as a group, although small as it was. And I was eating all of my dinners there, so I did not have to buy any food. Until Friday afternoon, I ducked into a grocery store to pick up a couple of things. But I'll do some more shopping after my doctor's appointment tomorrow. And I have 3 dates here because dates are very common. We broke a fast with them and the mango lassi every day at the mosque during Ramadan. I was in charge of making the mango lassi every day. I took over from a woman who used to do it, and yeah, I'm very happy to do it. My next thing that I would like to try is I would love to get a hold of some freeze-dried mango powder or get some freeze-dried mango and powder it myself. And I would love to find some ice cream powder. I think that would be awesome if there was such a thing available as freeze-dried ice cream powder. It's a nice good-sized piece of potato from the lamb stew. Take a sip of this tea. It's probably typical English style black tea. Probably not English breakfast tea, but the typical way of drinking tea in England for a lot of people with some milk or coffee creamer and sugar if they like it sweet. The mango pulp is almost like a super thick liquid or very, very loose puree. But the can, it's measured in grams of weight instead of fluid ounces or milliliters, like any other liquid. But yet you buy a bucket of ice cream and it's measured in gallons or ounces or liters or however it is. I'm going to take a test nibble of one of these. These definitely taste old, but almost sweet. Not as savory as I had expected it to be. Now, speaking of red, there is a guy I subscribe to here on YouTube. He's one of the knife channels that I subscribe to. Big Red EDC. He has a cardinal as his channel logo because he likes the St. Louis Cardinals as well, but he likes anything red. I thought maybe I would try some of this on here just for the heck of it. These are almost too sweet for this. I think I'm just going to stick to eating the lamb and the rice like this. Yes, these are dates. These are pitted dates. This is known as the Deglet Noor variety. I actually found these in Walgreens. This particular pack of them. There are some other varieties of dates that you get that have the seeds in them. And some can be almost as long as this bar. Maybe not as wide, but some of the medjool dates can almost be as long as this bar. They are not dried as much. They are a fresher date, although these are just as easy to eat because they're not, they're pitted, but they're not dried hard. They're just enough. And sometimes you will find dates that are in some kind of a syrup. Those are very, very hard to deal with. Several years ago, I was trying to open these cans of these, and I was literally having to use a spoon, a metal spoon, to get them out of the can. They are that stuck together, that tightly packed. No, these are just too much of a bother. So, better to stick with ones like this. Or the dates that still have their seeds or pits in them, than to deal with those sticky things that are just a hot mess. You used to not see dates in your average stores, but now more stores are selling them. And like I said, I found the pack that these came out of in Walgreens. in their blue, nice labeled bag. Yeah, there you go. Elsie popped up. Something that will give you an idea of some very fresh looking dates. But dates are often used as a carrier fruit in the all fruit bars like Lara bar or the RX bars or some of the bars that are similar to ones that you might find in different rations. Dates or prunes might be the main fruit, or fig might be, or combination. And then the others added to that. So it would look something like see, there's the inside of the apricot bar. That's closer to the color I was expecting. But if you've gotten Russian rations and those fruit bars, or you go to a store and you find the Lara bar or the RX bar, dates are most likely the main, I would call it the carrier fruit, where all the other fruits and flavors are added into that. Now, I had a date square once. I thought it was a little dry. I was hoping it would have been a little bit moister, but I still enjoyed it. But nothing beats eating a fresh date, though. Dates, like bananas, are a good source of potassium as well as fiber. And because they're sweet, you can eat those if you need to kill a sweet craving. Sometimes people will actually put dates like this inside of an entree to give it that little bit of sweetness. In addition to the savory, or they will use a crushed, they'll either get like a date paste or crushed dates, or just manually crush them in order to bake them into a cookie or something like that. But they would be a good hiking snack. Or I've taken them camping and I've shared them with some other people. If you find some good quality dates that are not too expensive, go for it. Well, Cliff, you got to get an IMP or three. I'm sure there are some new menus to replace some older ones that might be interesting to try. But in California, there are dates grown there, so California has a good climate for the date palms. So if you want domestically grown dates, you can get them from that were grown in California. You'd have to look at the packaging to see if they're California grown or imported. I've had some dates that have come from Tunisia, from Saudi Arabia. But I've never had any from Indonesia. Yeah, this looks a lot like it could pass as a lamb biryani because I mixed the meat in with the rice. And a traditional biryani has the meat actually cooked with the rice. The pup is back in town. Or should I say back in the doghouse? Hope everything has been good your way. It's been a minute. So what you're looking at is a 2018 IMP lamb stew mixed with a Minotaur Trading Company vegetable rice that I added some garam masala to. Just some dates that I had. I've eaten one of them. These are pitted Deglet Nord dates that I actually found in Walgreens. This apricot honey bar that looks like an oversized fig Newton. And these wheat crackers, which are actually on the sweet side. And this 3-in-1 tea came from one of the accessory packs that would go with the mains and dessert pouch that LC sent me. I bought 2 of those accessory packs. One is different than the other. Some of the components are the same, some are different. Well, that second fire truck that's gone down a street a block away, probably within the past 15 minutes. So it's a good thing my slider is closed so you didn't have to hear that racket. Yeah, they've been busy. And then this is the oatmeal cookie from a 21-pack humanitarian daily ration. And then this in the drinking jar is mango lassi from the last batch that I made at the mosque for our last iftar dinner, and then I just brought some home in an apple juice bottle. And it is a blend of melted ice cream. I let the ice cream melt so it's easy to mix. Mango pulp, which is more like a very loose mango puree, and milk. Just regular old whole milk. One day they brought me some 2% because they didn't have any whole milk available at the Hillel grocery store where the milk was being stored. So they gave me that, and I used it. It's better with the whole milk, but, I use what they send me, so I go with it. But it's also fun to make the mango lassi in a larger batch. Then you freeze some of it, and it becomes hard again. And you can eat it just like ice cream. It freezes a little different after it has all been mixed because of the addition of the milk and the mango pulp. So it doesn't have the same texture or consistency as the ice cream did in its original form. So you'd have to let it thaw out just a little bit so it's easier to scoop out. Or you dip your scoop or your spoon in very hot water to dip it out. But it's very enjoyable to eat it in its frozen state because it's almost, you're basically eating a mango ice cream at that point. And I did that last summer for my family during our annual camping trip to some cabins that we go to at Lake Icaria. I just took a small amount of the mango pulp with me, and then we picked up the ice cream and the milk at the grocery store in town after we got settled into the cabin, or the 2 cabins. So I just made a small amount. We drank some that evening, and then we put the rest in the freezer, and then we ate it like ice cream a couple days later. And everybody liked it. I do have a video on it. It's probably like 2 years old by now, maybe 3. I don't know. I'd have to dig back to find it, but I'm sure there are other videos on how to make mango lassi. And then at the mosque, someone told me about a version where they use what's called a yogurt drink. It's basically a drinkable yogurt. So it's a yogurt, but it's not the thick kind where you have to eat it with a spoon. It's probably about the same thickness as this mango lassi. It's just that it has the taste of the plain yogurt. So I am curious as to how that would work mixing with the mango pulp and the ice cream instead of just regular milk. So I might have to do some experimenting. Well, only simply because I don't eat it on a regular basis at home, but fava beans cooked in a certain way, so it's almost like refried beans, but some of the favas are left whole. It's known as fool. It's pronounced fool, but it's spelled Foul, like foul, as in a sports foul, but it's pronounced fool. But it is often eaten for breakfast in the Middle East. Somewhat like beans are popular as a breakfast item in England and maybe for some Canadians. But I don't eat it on a regular basis simply because I never grew up with it, but I will eat dates any time of the year. And during the summer, I may make some mango lassi and put it in my freezer if I have room for it. But there are just some things that I may only eat during Ramadan simply because I do not know how to prepare them. Especially for just me. Or, there's people that just make it so good that, no one else can top what they do. But yeah, I will eat hummus anytime. But we have some members of our community who are so allergic to sesame that anything with sesame has to be avoided. So we have to be very careful about ingredients in some dishes, or things like tahini or halvas that contain sesame, or hummus or sesame oil. This person cannot eat anything that contains sesame oil because the allergy is that severe. So we have to be careful about things like that. In fact, there was a bottle of sesame oil in the moss kitchen that I saw last year, so I brought it home. No one was using it. It's not going to get used for anything. It smells rancid, so you know what? I brought it home. It's going to be used for a homemade oil lamp should I need to, because I'm not going to consume it. I'm just going to put a wick in a jar, put something on the top of the jar that I can use to hold the wick up, and I can make myself an oil candle with that rancid oil. In fact, I just poured it in the same bottle as some rancid olive oil that had been sitting there for some time. No, actually, it was another sesame oil. It was like a toasted sesame oil, so I just combined the two into one bottle, and that will be my my lamp oil. But other than that sesame issue we have to avoid, we haven't had any other issues other than the fact that we have some members who do not eat any meats other than fish. We have one member who will eat beef and lamb and goat or fish, but not chicken. She will not eat chicken for some reason, but that's her choice. Sorry, I just had to let that one fly. Allergens are just, the air is just thick with crap. And that last bit of rain that we had, and that last bit of, white stuff, wasn't enough to get it all out, or there's more crap, with trees. We have some flowering trees not too far from here. But the last storm we had kind of blew off a lot of those new flowers, so they don't look as good, so I didn't take any pictures of them. But they're the kind that have the white flowers. I don't know what kind of tree it is. But I see them in different places all over the city. But we've had some pretty gnarly winds lately, so that's shredded a lot of those flowers off. So they didn't look as good this year as they have in the past. But when they're not bothered by storms, those flowers may stay on there for probably a week before they drop off and the leaves start budding. But other trees have already started to bud and leaf out, including the birches and the sycamores on the apartment property. And the trees in the park that have different colored leaves. Elsie, I can't open that because I'll kill the stream. And I don't want to do that. So Sorry if I don't try to open links because I don't want to kill the stream. They're pretty tall, like a mature magnolias. And speaking of magnolia, Courtney of Wide Family Farm got a hold of a young magnolia tree that she either will plant on the property or has already done so. So once that matures, that's going to look nice. She got it from a local place up there in her part of Ohio, so it's probably a variety that is well suited for Ohio conditions. I haven't been around too many of those kinds of trees because these ones that I go by, they're some of them are near one of the bus stops I use a lot. When I go by them, I don't get much of a scent from them. I'm not a baker. Plus, my oven doesn't work. So I can't bake here. I have had the store-bought date cookies. That are sold at Hillel Groceries. Well, the only way I could do a frozen pizza would be if I nuke it because my oven doesn't work. Or if it's a very, very small, like a personal pizza, I could do it in one of my cast iron pieces on my stovetop. That would be the only way I would do a pizza like that. Well, this stove is very old. My one big burner doesn't work. But they figure as long as the other three burners work, they wouldn't do squat. Just like when one of the sockets of my ceiling fan went out, as long as the other three work, they're not going to do squat about it. And if they do take it out, I would not get another one unless I buy the fan myself and have them put it up. And then when I leave, it becomes apartment property. Because when they remodeled these apartments that had been vacated in 2020 and 21, the light fixtures that replaced the ceiling fans in the living rooms were just light fixtures, no fans. So there's no way to circulate the air unless you just put fans all over the place. And when they were doing this, I thought they were going to kick all of us out of here that were still living here. Because there were 5 or 6 in my building that were still living here during the whole rental process. A couple of them have since moved out. And then those apartments got remodeled and then refilled with new tenants. But I'm still living with the old crap. But until something completely dies, I can't get it replaced. Like when my air conditioner unit failed, it got replaced with one that was in another apartment that was vacant at the time. So then last year it failed. Then I got a completely new one, but at least this one has a remote. And this one, like the previous one, has heat function. So that negates the need to use the baseboard heater here in the living room, which is right underneath the slider anyway, and that thing really never worked very well. And I don't like using the one in the bedroom, so I don't use it. So that one unit is my only source of heat. Unless I choose to throw some kind of a warmer thing into my bed at night. And I've only had to do that at camp. Never had to do that here. Plus I have a wool blanket on the bed. Yeah, this thing is completely programmable. So that's what I do like about it. But when, should the power go out in a cold month, I do have my buddy. But it's getting to the point where I will need to do anything with that until the fall. But I do have it. I still would like to get a 10-pound tank that I can connect it to with the hose that I have. And I would be able to conceal that on the deck inside of a milk crate, and I could put something inside the milk crate. There is Robert in the house. Thanks for dropping in. What you're looking at is sort of a ration mashup plus a few things that I just pull from my kitchen. The IMP lamb and vegetable stew got mixed with, originally it was just poured on top of the Minotaur vegetable rice, which I added some garam masala to. It sort of gave it a dark color, but then I mixed the lamb with the rice, so it's kind of represents lamb biryani. And then I just got some dates from the kitchen. This is a 3-in-1 tea. These are some wheat crackers that are a bit sweeter than I expected. I thought they'd be more savory. And then this is an apricot honey bar, kind of like an oversized Fig Newton. These all came from an accessory pack that goes with the ration, mains, and dessert, like the one that LC had sent me as a birthday present. I found 2 of these accessory packs on eBay from the same seller, so I bought both of them. Some of the components are the same, some are different. So I busted into one to get these things out of here. And then the other accessory pack will remain closed until I do that particular ration. And according to the accessory pack list, the instant noodle is another separately issued item. So what I'm going to do when I do my grocery shopping this coming week, I am going to get me a ramen, probably from Hilal Groceries, because they sell like the Indonesian ramens, kind of like mie goreng. So I will get one of those, and that would substitute for the original instant noodle that would have been issued to the soldier who would have eaten the rest of the items that this would be a part of. So the other accessory pack has an instant coffee. I've heard that stuff is killer good. I haven't gotten that everything bagel. But since I have a shelf-stable bagel, I need to get some of that. I almost thought about bringing out that bagel for this, but when I saw these crackers, I think I'm going to go for these instead. But these are a bit too sweet, but actually, I'll show you. I'm dipping it into the tea. Yeah, these are a lot sweeter than I expected. Yes, they do have the pack had a best buy date of 2020, so they have been around a little while. But they're not rancid. Yeah, they did come in a very, very sturdy wrapper. They're just a little sweeter than I had anticipated. I thought they would be more savory. I love fresh crawfish. We have one restaurant here in town that only flies it in 1 day a year. And you have to pre order. Actually, I think there are two now that do it because we got crawfish from a different restaurant a couple years ago. But you have to pre order the amount of crawfish if you're just getting straight up crawfish for crawfish boil, or if you're doing the crawfish boil bags where you get all of the stuff together in a bag that is then sealed and then boiled, and then you go to the restaurant and you just pick up those bags and then they're ready to eat. You don't have to reheat them because they have already been cooked. You just have to open up and serve them. But you have to pre-order so they know exactly how much crawfish to fly in from Louisiana. Because once that's gone, it's gone for the year. But I'll tell you, when you get the fresh crawfish straight from the bayou, that is some good stuff. This is the oatmeal cookie from a 21-pack humanitarian daily ration. And then this is mango lassi. I brought home some from my last batch that I made at the mosque on Thursday. There's an apple juice container that was emptied, so I just used that to bring some mango lassi home. And it is a combination of melted ice cream, mango pulp, and milk. I just mix it together and put it back in the fridge to chill. Or if you need some faster chill time, or you want to freeze it, then you throw it in the freezer. Oh, so there's Wide Family Farm. There's Courtney in the house. Where your ears itching, we were talking about you and your new trees. Yep, I am having a version that represents something that's close to a lamb biryani, but without all the extra work. It's an IMP lamb and vegetable stew mixed with a freeze-dried vegetable rice from Minotaur Trading Company that I added some garam masala powder to before I put the hot water in the bag. So that's why the rice looks a little dark. I just got some dates from my kitchen. There is Rebel Canners in the house. Thanks for dropping in. Now this is a pitted Deglet Noor variety. So it has the seed taken out and then they just close the halves back up. So it would be the date to give to kids when you want to introduce them to dates and not have to worry about the seed. So the lamb and vegetable stew came from a Canadian ration, and that got mixed with freeze-dried vegetable rice from a Minotaur Trading Company civilian. And then these are a bit sweeter than I expected. They came from, I believe it's a Malaysian or Singapore. It might be Singapore. The accessory pouch doesn't say the origin. But I bought 2 of those accessory packs. There's James Ortiz in the house. But this is a 3-in-1 tea, kind of in the British style. And then this is an apricot honey bar that's kind of like, it resembles an oversized Fig Newton. Yeah, CR must have a very high metabolism if he's always wanting to have a munch on something. Yeah, you could have come down here. I would have shared with you. Could have got you a glass of mango lassi. But you're so far up there in your little piece of Canada, unless you got a transporter handy to beam yourself down here. Yeah, but Cliff, is that tapeworm marked in inches or centimeters? Or is that something that the public is not allowed to know? I had to say that. I had to say that. Gotta have a little fun with this, CR. You know that. Did someone say someone's saying hi to Star? I'm not that sure if that's in reference to a specific person because I'm not seeing a star in chat. Of course, then I only have. Uh, I'm on. I hadn't turned it to live chat, so I still don't see a star. Sorry about the shaking. It's my phone mount that's a little wobbly. I'm subscribed to Star Homestead India, but that person is not showing up in here. Probably not his time to be online. But I have not seen a Stan in here either. I see the fishy guy. Well, this is a little thin to be a milkshake, but mango lassi is probably the closest you're going to get from me tonight. Although it could be done if you put the solid ice cream, the milk, and the mango pulp in a blender and do it that way. He's probably just lurking. Or he got booted out. have been booted out of chats either because my internet freezes up or my Kindle froze or something like that. Yeah, that probably wasn't too well liked. Yeah, I would agree about that. Some people are just too sensitive about little things. Bones Yard is here. Thanks for dropping in. A little bit of the lamb stew that I mixed with some Insta rice and veggies. I threw some garam masala powder into the rice before I put the hot water in. Then I got some dates. These crackers are more sweet than savory. And they came out of what I think is a Singapore ration accessory pack, along with this apricot honey bar, which looks kind of like an oversized fig Newton. And this is a 3-in-1 instant tea in the British style. dates for my kitchen. The cinnamon oatmeal cookie from a humanitarian daily ration that was packed in 2021. And this is mango lassi. It's a mix of melted ice cream, mango pulp, and milk. And we used it every night during Ramadan, along with dates, to break our fast every day, just after sunset. But mango lassi is a good summertime treat, especially if you freeze it and then you eat it. Sorry about that. I just got temporarily disconnected. I do apologize for that. At least with the phone I'm streaming on now, it takes a whole lot less time to come back than it does with the old phone. Yeah. Yeah, Bone Jar has been around for a long time, so I've known him for a while. So I couldn't look at what that was. It wouldn't let me. Well, it just says hello LC. A greeting was deleted? I've had YouTube delete greetings of hello from viewers. I hate it when that happens. I don't know why a greeting of hello can be offensive. All I could see was hello LC, and that's what it looked like. Unless that was an oops. Yeah. That's happened where you go to do something to another person, like put them in timeout, and then you hit the wrong person, or you hit the wrong action. But a greeting of hello should never be deleted. So I'm guessing it was an oops. Because it finally let me see that he said hello to LC. But then, YouTube has deleted comments like that from chats before, taking mod wrenches away when it shouldn't have. And then the channel owner would have to remodify those people. But I'm one of those people that if I go into a chat and there's a new mod, I would say if a new mod wants to practice, put me in timeout just to see how that actually works. And I did that. A new mod put me in timeout, and then when the timeout ended and I could chat again, I said what I was able to do and not do. I said that I could see the chat, I could watch the video of the stream. I just couldn't participate until the timeout had ended. So, you know, if I get hidden from a chat and then instantly re-added, I would consider that a practice. The channel owner would have to allow me back in, I think. But we all know mistakes happen. I've done that. Because I watch on my Kindle, actions take me a lot longer to do than say if I was on a computer. And because it's hard for me to use a laptop, that's why I normally don't watch on it. Because I cannot separate the screen from the keyboard to get both where I want them to be, most user friendly for me. Whereas my Kindle, because I use a Bluetooth keyboard, I can have it separate from that tablet, and I can go that way. I will use the laptop for editing large videos, even though that's pretty hard to do. And I have dumped loads of pictures from a phone onto it. But as far as using a computer for everyday stuff, I need to have a new desktop, and right now that's just out of the budget. And the two that I have are pretty much nothing but oversized power banks. Thanks for dropping in, Robert. But with the chip issues that we have been having, getting a new computer is no doubt more difficult than it has been in the past. And we had a very, very huge turnout at the Eat Prayer on Friday. In fact, traffic getting to the place was crazy. It took the bus I was riding 5 minutes to go 1 block. And then 5 minutes to go another block. And another 5 minutes just to get to the bus stop on the other side of the intersection so I could get out and walk to the building that I needed to go to, which wasn't all that far away. Is on the Grandview University campus. Yeah, I probably could have walked as fast as that bus was going. But I just stayed inside the bus until I got to the bus stop. There's probably at least 500-600 people in there. Maybe more. I think it was, could have been closer to 1,000 because there's a bigger crowd than the last time I went to that same place for both Eid celebrations last year. The one after Ramadan and then the one that takes place a couple months later during the time of the annual Hajj pilgrimage to Mecca in Saudi Arabia. Now that is way out of my price range. I no way can do that. Because airfare alone, without any of the other expenses, is probably almost twice, if not more than twice, my monthly disability payment. And that's just airfare. Forget anything else. Plus, I don't have a passport, so I can't leave the U.S. anyway. Unless I try to sneak out, and I'm not going to do that. Thanks for dropping in, CR. Now go get yourself a snack. So you'd be more satisfied when you go to bed. I just had to give a little bit more crap before I slipped out. And we did have lamb, I think, twice for dinner during Ramadan. We had, I think, we had beef, I think, 3 times. We had goat, I think, 1 time. And then we had chicken the rest of the time, as far as meats go. But the meat prices, even for the wholesale, the Hillel Groceries was paying, and then the sponsoring, the people who would either sponsor that night's dinner and then have someone else actually cook the food, or were cooking it themselves. The wholesale box of the halal cut lamb was like, I think it was like $300. Or is it 600? I think it's like $600 just for the lamb meat alone. That's the lamb on the bone. And that's how the goat meat was done, was on the bone. Sometimes we got the chicken legs, and the rest of the time it was just the chicken cut up into chunks, probably about the size of the lamb pieces in this. Maybe a little bigger, a little smaller. And then the beef was all boneless, but cut in a similar manner. But that's how expensive the meats were. Even the chicken is a lot more expensive. Whereas in past Ramadans, a sponsoring group or family or person may pay $500 to Halal Groceries, and that would cover everything that they would get from there, or have delivered there to be picked up to be used for that night, for a night's meal. This year it was like between 700 and 1,000, and that would not include any of the additional stuff, like some people may do salads, some may do desserts, some may bring fruit, and someone always paid to cover the cost of me making the mango lassi every day. It even costs more to get a container of dates than for the same size last year or year before. So anyway, I was surprised at the cost of those boxes of meat, but yet I was not, considering the prices that I have seen myself in stores, or have heard what others are paying for various items. My prescription copays have gone up, but yet some I have no copays on, so that balances that out. And because I'm in a new quarter, a new 3 months for April, May, and June, my health insurance quarterly spending allowance is reloaded. So I have up to $60 worth of allowance I can spend on qualifying products in a store. Now, thanks for dropping in. Yeah, no doubt, Cliff. Yeah, I watch Alaska Granny And she has shown prices up there where she's at in Alaska. And then the Alaska Prepper has shown the prices that he has paid for stuff. So I'm not surprised at how expensive things are up there. You know, considering it takes extra time and fuel to get stuff from the lower 48 up there, and no doubt it would be the same for Hawaii. Yeah, Alaska Prepper is, well, I think both of them are in or near the Fairbanks area. And then there's another channel, I'm not subscribed to them, but they're called Summers in Alaska. And they live up near North Pole. So occasionally they will drop down to Fairbanks. But mostly they stick to the North Pole area. And I have seen some of the prices that they pay for stuff. So yeah, it can be crazy up there. I haven't watched any channels from Hawaii lately to show what they have to deal with as far as prices when they go shopping for food or other stuff. But no doubt it's expensive there too, because you have to either fly it across the ocean or send it on ship. I'm sure for some things up there it's probably cheaper just to go get it from Canada, take it across the border, instead of getting that same thing from the lower 48. I'm not sure how true that is, but I'm just guessing that's what some people do. The Alaska Granny also has a property in Arizona, so sometimes she will go down there because she has family down there. And she will go to stores like Dollar Tree, which you do not have up there in Alaska. So she will buy a bunch of stuff at Dollar Tree to take back to Alaska. Since that is a store that is just not available up there. But yet the Walmart that she goes to up in Alaska sells the Augustin Farms number 10 cans. I have never seen that in the Walmarts here. I've only seen those little emergency food buckets that are like a 2-day supply of food in one of those smaller rectangular white buckets. I've only seen those from August Farms there. That's it. I've never seen any of their number 10 cans up there. And speaking of August Farms number 10 cans, that last coupon or $5 gift card that I won from Gil at Camp Patton Family Compound, that gave me enough of an Amazon balance that I could buy a number 10 can of Augustin Farms freeze-dried spinach. I think it's spinach flakes or spinach powder. I think it's the spinach flakes. For just a little over $12, and it was on sale. So, dang right I was going to do that. Yeah, I have seen the canned tamales in the Walmarts here, like your basic 15-ounce size can. I have seen those here. Occasionally I will see the number 10 wet packed vegetables or fruit in the Walmarts down here. The same kind that I would go to Sam's Club to buy. But the only time I would buy one of those if I was going to serve it as a part of a meal at the mosque, which I have not done. Others have, I just haven't done that because someone else chose to take the responsibility to do that. Plus, I would only be able to carry maybe 2 at a time, unless I use my grocery hauler suitcase. Then I could put 4 in there, and then pull that. But for my personal use, for just me, I would only buy dry food in a number 10 can. You know, like that spinach that I ordered off of Amazon, or the milk powder, or I have some freeze-dried beef and freeze-dried chicken from Mountain House that I bought before the prices of those shot way up. Of course, I have fruits and veggies that are in the number 10 cans, or the pantry cans that Thrive Life has. And I have some in prepackaged Mylar bags that I've gotten from some other companies that I put into buckets. Oh, so that must be a number 10 can if it costs that much for one can of tamales. I'm assuming that's based on that price because you wouldn't pay $20 for a 15-ounce can. At least not here in Iowa. I wouldn't expect to pay that much yet. Oh, yeah. Well, that's actually not too bad for a number 10 can of freeze dried fruit. Depending on the fruit, you can pay more or less depending on the fruit that's in it. I would like to get some freeze dried berries like blueberries and blackberries, but I'll wait to see if I can catch some of those on sale. But I have freeze dried apples, I got freeze dried mango, I got the banana chips. I'd love to see freeze dried watermelon. I think that would be interesting. I have dehydrated some fruits. Back in March, I think February and March, a couple of different times, I put some orange wedges on my dehydrator and I dehydrated those. I took the peels off before I did that, but I dehydrated the orange till they were completely hard. Before I put those into a Mylar bag with an oxygen absorber. I will probably just get some berries and dehydrate them and just do it that way instead of waiting for freeze-dried ones to go on sale. I've been doing a fair amount of bell peppers, sweet potatoes, and carrots. I've done a fair amount of onions in the past. Yep. It's cheaper to do your own. Especially these days. Plus, I need to get some more buckets anyway because I'm out of room in the one that I have, a small one that I have labeled as veggies. That's going to end up being just dried herbs. I'll be growing some whole bunch of different herbs this summer. Hopefully they'll do well. As the basil that I grew last year, that went bonkers. The other stuff, a lot of the other stuff I tried just either didn't come up at all or something came up, but it was not at all what I expected. Or it just didn't produce much. My issue is my lack of sunlight hitting my deck. And because the trees are leafing out, I will have even less. One of the few drawbacks of having a north-facing apartment. But I get the benefit of not having to deal with hot sun coming in through a west window at night like I did in the previous place where I lived. That was my bedroom, and that got so dang hot, even with the central air. Some nights I still had to have an additional fan. I had a ceiling fan in there, but it was not directly above the bed where I would have wanted it. So, like I said, it's one of the benefits of north-facing apartment. I don't have to deal with that excessive heat during the summer. But when I do plant, I have two more pots that I can plant in because I picked up two more that were abandoned by the dumpster. So I'm hoping that I will have enough compost built up that I won't have to buy any potting soil, although I may still buy a bag of potting soil. So I would put compost in the bottom half of the pot and then the potting soil in the top half. And maybe a little bit of compost on top. Yeah, I do compost here. I have a little bucket under the sink Now when that gets full, that goes out onto the deck. My big bucket on the deck is full, so I took my my hand washing laundry bowl, and I just dumped some stuff in there. A few months ago, in the last warm day, that was like the in the 80s. I did that. It was before Ramadan, so that bowl of compost with onion scrap has been sitting out there for over a month. Now I'm going to have some more compost. I'll just dump on top of that. And then we had these air conditioner covers that were supposed to be put on the inside. When the old units only had the air conditioner, they didn't have the heat function. You're supposed to put this cover over it on the inside to block draft. But the one that came with my apartment, it's been on the deck, so I'm just going to use it as a mixing tub. So, I mean, it's dirty on the inside anyway, so I might as well just use it that way. But the base of my compost is coffee grounds, and then whatever other fruit or veggie scrap like orange peels, banana peels, bell pepper scrap, sweet potato peels, carrot peelings, stuff like that. The carrot ends. And then I've just added leaves to it, bits of grass. I go camping, I get mud stuck into the treads of my shoes and my boots. I scrape that into my compost bucket. So there may have been some pine needles go in there. Just stuff like that. I don't buy any fertilizers. I don't have any access to any composted manures. Someone would have to bring me a small container of it because that would be all that I could use. So I just stick with what I got and water it. And if something comes up, it comes up. If it doesn't, it doesn't. At least I'm trying. Unfortunately, I do not have the space to start seed indoors. I would have to kick out a bunch of stuff that I don't have another place for. I don't have a storage unit because I would have to have a driver take me to one because there are none close to here. When you don't drive, that kind of makes things a little hard. Or I would have to make some other kind of arrangements for other preppers in my area who would be willing to store some of my preps, my long-term stuff, so I could get it out of here. Because I can't take very much with me in a bus. And my rice and bean buckets, my pasta buckets they're pretty darn heavy. But at least I have that done. I've done that. So that's more than what a lot of people around here would do. So if I couldn't go to a grocery store for quite some time, I would be good to go, And I also store water here. Small containers. And once I empty all the mango lassi out of that juice jug that I brought it home in, I'm going to clean that bugger out real good. I'm going to refill it with water. So it will be additional water storage. Well, thanks for dropping in. I'm probably going to go ahead and close this thing out also, since I've been on for it's ticking closer to 3 hours. I know I didn't eat this cookie, but I'll bite off the part that got exposed to the lamb sauce, and I'll save it for later. But anyway, I do want to thank you all for watching. Next week I will do the full Singapore ration, the other accessory pack that I bought to go along with that pack that LC had sent to me. And I will pick up a ramen to go with that, because I want to complete the set. I want to have the whole complete package. So everything, or at least an approximation of everything that would be in the full day's ration for the soldier who would be issued those items. So anyway, stay tuned for that. Again, thank you all for your support, and check out my past videos, because I do need to build my watch time back up since I've been pretty much off for a month. But I will be tossing up some more videos as soon as I get some stuff in that I can show. So thanks for watching, and catch you on the flip side.